Welcome aboard the Yo, what up, everybody? I appreciate you guys joining me tonight. Gonna let our co-host Ulysses get dialed in.
Yo, yo.
Yo, what's up, man?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, kind of low.
Okay, let me get the sound check. Let me get this figured out.
Keep going up, keep going up.
Okay,
Oh,
hold on.
you good right there?
Wait, is it fine?
Yeah, that's cool.
Oh, okay. There we go. Hey, what's going on, man?
Hey, much man, how you doing, bro?
Hey, man. So just another day in paradise.
It's a hot ass paradise.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, paradise inside the house with the AC on.
So you over there on the West Coast right now? It's about like 7:07.
Yeah, and it's about, I would say, not only time but temperature.
Okay. Oh yeah, hey man. Before we start, man, I'm gonna give a big shout out to Kevin in the chat, man. I'm not sure if you met him through my stream, but he's a really cool dude, man. He's the one who got me on the iRacing and taught me the game when it comes to streaming and stuff like that. So I'm
Oh,
really
nice.
appreciative of him, man. He's a really cool guy, a great photographer, and I know he
Oh
puts
yeah,
out good work, man. So
yeah, man. Shout outs to you, man.
yeah, man. That's what's up, man. So what's been going on? I know you've been I know this kind of like
Uh,
sidetrack. I know you've been doing a lot of the scooter work.
oh man, dude. Scooter builds all day, every day. You know, and trying to expand that out, man. Just trying to get into more markets who may have, another area in California where we may be getting into the game. So just trying to like, kind of hone that business model. I don't know if it's a good or bad thing, but you got, there's companies that are, having hard times, uh, you know, doing this type of stuff because maybe hedged a little too much here or there, but perfect opportunity for the smaller guys to come in and take over. So getting
Understood.
it in, man. Yeah.
No, I can dig that, man. I know. I ain't been doing much, man. I've kind of been on. Well, actually, I have been doing much, but I kind of like refocus myself when it comes to like the sim racing, the race world. Kind of restructure my goals and see where I see myself,
Hmm.
in the next year or so. And it feels good, and it feels good that this podcast that we're gonna be doing on Sundays is a part of that process. It feels really good, So I'm really grateful for you helping me out with this, being my co-host through this, and we create some good content, man.
For
I think
sure.
that's cool, man.
For
Shoot,
sure.
hey, man. But yeah, man, we're gonna jump right into it, man. We're gonna jump right into it, bro.
Let's do it.
All right, hold on. All right, well, first thing we'll talk about, man, is Kimi Räikkönen.
Gimme.
Kimi Räikkönen, man, he's been yo. The thing about it is the Iceman, as they might call him. I'm
Hmm.
not gonna lie. Like when I used to see him in Formula One, it's not like I was like infatuated with him like I see everybody else was,
Yeah,
but the more I started looking at his personality, the more I started looking at his past interviews, the more I started looking at his out hot takes and stuff like that, his funny hot takes, the more his personality started to grow on me, you know?
yeah. Well, the Finnish drivers,
Yeah.
they always kind of have that stoic presence about them.
Uh huh.
Yeah, whether it was like Mika Hakkinen, uh, Mika Salo, Kimi
Yeah.
Räikkönen. Um, who's the other one I'm trying to think of? Uh, Valtteri, Valtteri
Valtteri
Bottas.
Bottas. Well, I think
Yeah,
he's finished.
I want to say he's finished, isn't he?
Yeah, I think he is finished.
Yeah, they want to say he's finished. So they all kind of have this sort of stoic type of thing about them, where they don't really have like they don't give off personality, for the most part,
Yeah. Yeah.
right? And so yeah, you only kind of got glimpses of it with Kimmy. Like sometimes he had like go if you pull up like videos of like best Kimmy moments or something like that, right?
Yeah.
Like on the
Yeah.
radio,
Hmm.
it'll be like something very short that he says. So he was never known for being a talker,
Yeah.
right? And so I think even with him doing the NASCAR event, a lot of people were kind of surprised by how much
How
he's
much he
kind of
was talking.
yeah.
Yo, I was saying this. Yo, when I seen that interview, I was like, damn, he looked happy.
Yeah, I think this was something a little different.
Yeah.
And, this is like his third NASCAR race, actually. Well, NASCAR event. He's done what was it? He done a truck race, and I think he did an Xfinity Series race or something like that.
Yeah.
So this was like his third. This is like his first like Cup race, though,
Hmm.
right? And this is the new car. And I was curious about how this would go in that new car. Uh, just simply because that car, the new NASCAR is kind of more or less match. They're kind of closer to a GT car,
Yeah.
right, in their construction than they are the old NASCARs, right? So I think
Hmm.
it's easier for like European drivers, like circuit drivers, to kind of jump into a NASCAR.
Hmm.
You know what I mean, and just kind of get acclimated to it
Yeah.
than the older versions of the car.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Because there's a lot. There's a lot more downforce. Like over the years in NASCAR, like I'm not a real big NASCAR fan, so my knowledge is kind of limited. But one thing that I don't think it takes a genius to notice is that there's been a lot more downforce added to the car, a lot more ground effects added to the car. Um, so I agree
Hmm.
with you. So I feel like it was kind of, now I wouldn't say easy, but in regards to like somebody like Juan Pablo Montoya when he went to NASCAR, I
Yeah.
feel like he kind of has a better, kind of like a leg up when it comes to sliding into that position within NASCAR to actually be able to perform and put up good results. Um, and not to mention, I feel like everybody loves Kimmy, worldwide, and it's
Mm.
because of his personality. But in regards to him talking more in the interview, I just thought that was very. It made me feel good. I think it made the whole like racing world feel good because I think what you got to see was Kimmy doing something new, right? So it made him look like a kid again. And what it made me want to do was look at old interviews of him
Hmm.
and see how he was when he first started Formula One. If I Because it would allow me to draw comparisons to from then to now when he's doing
Yeah.
NASCAR. Because his last days in Formula One, he was looking like, man, I'm ready to get up out of this. You know?
Yeah, sometimes in Formula One, man, like you kind of don't know when to go out. You know what I mean? Like we're kind of seeing it with Vettel, for example.
Yeah.
Seen it with Fernando Alonso.
Hmm.
A few others,
Yeah.
right? Where it's just kind of like, yeah, maybe I should go somewhere else, right? And
Hmm.
so I think Kimmy, man, like Kimmy, what he did he's done some rally cross. I think he did some rally driving,
Yeah.
and he's also done. I'm trying to remember what else he's done.
He was doing rally like in the off season, right?
Yeah, like yeah. So he's kind of always just been kind of active, but I think I think, especially like somebody like him, I think that he's good for NASCAR. I know it sounds crazy, right? But I
Yeah.
think he's actually good for NASCAR. I think guys like him are good for NASCAR. I think because, dude, like honestly, dude, I haven't even really outside of the new car itself. I haven't really had much. Until I saw Kimmy like throwing that car around.
You said what now?
Until I seen Kimmy throwing that car around.
Yeah.
Okay, I was like, oh wow. And then he got into the top 10. He was running top 10 right in the race before he got punted off.
Yeah.
So the other part to this is that Kimmy is competitive in a NASCAR,
Yes.
right? Let him get more seat time. Let him let him get signed on to a team if he was around with Trackhouse,
Hmm.
and let him get the kind of seat time all these other guys get. Dude, he's an F1 champ, dude. Like he'll start handing it to guys.
Yeah, especially on those road courses. To me, when he was at Watkins Glen, he looked very very comfortable.
Yeah, yeah.
He
You
looked
look
very
at his lines he was taking, man.
yeah. He looked like a threat.
Hmm.
He didn't look like he was this isn't a shot at Magnuson or not Magnuson at Grosjean or anything like that. But when they're doing IndyCar, it kind of looks like they're just trying to fill it out. But with Raikkonen, it looked like he was just like on it from the get go, you know. And
Hmm.
I think a lot of the drivers were realizing that. For instance, Dale Earnhardt even said it when he was doing the commentary. He was like, these drivers are trying to learn him, and he's trying to learn the drivers. But to be honest with you, I don't think Kimmy's really more or less trying to learn them. I think he's looking at them like Formula One drivers when they're not Formula One drivers.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah,
which could be an advantage for him or it could be a disadvantage, however you see it. But I think to me, I think he has a leg up, especially when it comes to the road tracks. For obvious reasons, because
hmm
most Formula Ones, it's going to be a lot of more turns than normal NASCAR.
yeah.
So
You know, I think because like I said, Kimmy kind of he's ran two NASCAR style races before, right? So I think really with Kimmy, he's just for him, it's just really just a matter of getting settled in with a team where
mhm,
he can really kind of uh, get the data, and
mhm.
they can kind of get the car suited to his driving style.
Yeah, yeah,
See,
yeah, yeah.
if he has that if he has that amount of time uh, to kind of gel with a team and a car,
Mhm.
dude, like we even saw like even Juan Pablo Montoya, dude. Once he got settled in with Chip Ganassi, with the
Yeah.
Ganassi, the Target NASCAR at
Hmm.
Toyota. Oh,
Yeah.
dude, Juan Pablo Montoya was no joke in a NASCAR.
Yeah. No, I agree.
Yeah,
Hey man, you want to see that? Let's show that battle, man, with Kimi Räikkönen versus Chase Elliott.
yeah,
I think that was a pretty good battle, the way they were driving, and you could tell that Chase Elliott was kind of like, damn, damn, this is a different animal right here.
yeah.
Jimmy
I
was
mean,
on the move.
yeah,
What
that's Kimmy, the '91 car.
worries
Yeah, the
for him.
91.
He's trying to wedge his way underneath and slide through. He'll do that at the bottom of turn number 2 and the bottom of
Like,
the
look
S.
how he takes the lines, dude.
Right now, through
Yeah.
turn number 3, he is up to 9th. He is 3.14 seconds behind the race leader.
I don't know. He looks like a threat out there.
Yeah, yeah,
Full head of steam
yeah.
right
He
now.
knows what he's doing.
We really
Yeah.
didn't see as much movement as we anticipated from
And
Kimmy
look how he takes the chicane right here.
the wet conditions. But
Hmm.
now that
Look at that.
you're on the slicks, you can see
Dude is on him.
slick right there, losing the back of the car a little bit in the bus stop. But that's put the 9 and the 17 and pushing side by side.
And it's the
Big
patience
right
that I
here.
think he's being
Yeah.
able to show.
Camera, watching Kimmy do
Because look,
work.
dude, this stuff comes to him. Like
Like you
these,
said, who am I racing right here?
this is coming to him a lot slower than the F1 cars, dude. The F1
Yeah.
cars would be way quicker around Watkins Glen.
Doesn't know his weaknesses. Kimmy's having to learn these drivers, and they're having to learn his traits as well.
You mentioned how he's trying to figure out what.
And then
he's
this is
racing
Chase
against.
Elliott right here
Well,
behind
now,
him.
The best way is to follow him through until you get
Just
the
trying to
opening.
figure him out.
Yeah.
What Chase is doing right now, closing up on the back bumper, looking to the inside now. The
Yeah, no, dude. Kimmy knows how to block, dude.
Yeah, he
You
knows
talking
how.
about? Look at
Going into the bus stop side
That's
by
what I'm talking
side.
about.
Chase
It's
back
all about
south.
patience,
that. Yeah.
you know. But that's gonna go into
Right
our
here
other
on the back
topic when we,
bumper, looking to the
finally get
inside
into
now,
our main
carousel.
topic. we're going to talk about patience, especially when it comes into play.
Now, here's the other thing too. I'm almost certain, dude, that they told him let him through.
Probably, they probably did.
Yeah. I don't think that they would let Kimmy, because it was Chase Elliott. Didn't he win the regular? I don't know how they do their points now, but I think he just won the regular season something with this race.
Probably did.
Right? Yeah, I think Chase Elliott actually won the regular season title cup or something with this race. So I'm pretty sure in the radio they were like, Kimmy, let him through.
Probably. They probably was.
Yeah.
All right.
Because just looking at how that happened right there,
Mm-hmm.
Kimmy kind of let him through.
Nah, he did. He did. It was no point. It's no point in even like really rushing it at that point, you know.
Right.
But let's just watch this interview, so we can all see about as
far
as Kimi talking a lot, you know.
He's an idol of mine, Kimi. With a very impressive running qualifying to be 13th in Group B. You got 20 minutes in practice here in the Cup Series, 10 laps in qualifying. What was that experience like, Kimi?
Fair use, by the way.
Laps and
yeah.
Potential, but I'm not sure which line to take, and just not enough laps to put everything together. But yeah, it was fun. I mean.
He's already talked too much.
He said more than he said all of Formula 1.
Right.
But the fine details are never shown in a simulator. But at least I knew the track and tried to go. But I think I needed to be a bit more. Quite a few places. Some places I thought I was pretty okay. But it's good. I didn't expect anything, and we are somewhat in the middle, so it's okay.
So what will you do tonight? What will you go look at to try and get ready for tomorrow for the race? What are some of the things you're going to go back and say, okay, I know I need to do that better, or what are you looking for?
No idea yet.
Yeah, right. So one thing that I wanted to see him speak of, but he did not speak of, was his usage of his drink tube. Like, was his drink tube working? Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, because he got pissed off in like one of the previous races that he did. He came in for a pit and they didn't give him water.
Yeah, that shit was
and so
funny,
he was
man.
on the radio. He's like, "Yo, y'all didn't give me water."
He didn't give me water. Yeah. Nah, man.
But wait, he was asking him. He was telling him, "Make sure y'all have a water bottle for me when I come into the pit."
Yeah, because my damn tube isn't working.
Yeah, so he came into the pit. And dude, they literally did not bring a water bottle. And then he went and took off. He was like, "Yo, y'all didn't give me the water."
Right.
He's like, "What's good with my water?" Right. He wasn't gonna like just sit there in the car and wait for the water, right?
Yeah.
That would have been awful. Like, I'm not leaving until y'all give me my.
Yeah. Now, to keep it on, so now we're gonna kind of switch over to Formula One, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's still, I still look at Kimi as a Formula One driver, but I'm curious, what do you think about Danny Ricciardo, man?
Danny Ricciardo, he needs to go to hypercar.
You think he does?
Man, I'm a Ricciardo fan, right? Like, I like when he was at Red Bull. He screwed up by leaving Red Bull.
Leaving Red Bull?
Yeah, he screwed up by.
So you still think he's kind of plagued by that decision he made? What was that, like 3-4 years ago?
It's like about 3-4 years ago. Yeah.
And
I think that was that was the wrong decision to make. He has been the same since.
Mm-hmm. I agree. I think honestly, I'm gonna be honest with you. Yo, what up, Mike V?
Salute. What up, Mike?
I'm gonna be honest with you, bro. I think Danny Ricciardo, he's a very optimistic driver. But more than that, he's a very optimistic person, right?
Yeah.
And he's a very positive person. But when he left Red Bull, he left in a way that left people, wondering what he can do and is he running from a fight. I honestly never looked at it that way. I just looked at it like, homie just wants a new change of scenery. You know what I'm saying? But when he left, Max Verstappen was there. He was the young gunner with the 2-shooter. You know what I'm saying? With the 2-piece, and we didn't really see that fight between them. for Danny Ricciardo to keep his quote unquote crown, of the team.
Okay, what Ricardo did that kind of screwed him.
Yeah.
Okay, McLaren is a name that you would think you would want to kind of go the team that you want to go to, right?
But remember, he went to Alpine.
He went to Alpine.
No, he went to was it Alpine?
No, they're talking about him going to Alpine potentially now.
No, I'm talking about after he left Red Bull, he didn't go to Alpine. He went to whatchamacallit, Renault. Yellow and black. What was their name at the time? Isn't it Renault?
Who, Renault?
Yeah. After Red Bull, he went to the yellow and black team. I can't remember that name at the particular time. I think it's not Alpine. And then he went to McLaren. Yeah, it was Renault. Well, anyways, he went to Renault.
Okay. Well, here's the whole thing about him. Basically, looking to be the number one guy.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You come from Red Bull. You have sort of like a, you've got some wins under your belt, and you're thinking that Renault or McLaren, in terms of like the programs, they've been around in F1 longer, right? They have more of a storied past in F1, right? Red Bull is a new outfit largely.
Yeah.
Now they got, obviously you got Vettel. You've already had some championships under your belt, right? But I think Ricardo, I think he just thought the grass was greener. I really do think that. I think he just genuinely thought that the grass was greener. And when he went over there, and he's been at Renault, he's been at McLaren, and both of those teams, man, have been lackluster. Both of them.
Yeah.
Okay. McLaren ain't even putting Lando in the best situation.
Pretty much.
Okay. And that's really the problem. Dude, like the only top teams you have is Red Bull, and Mercedes, and Ferrari. Okay?
Pretty much.
You're pretty much only kind of guaranteed a competitive seat if you're with those three teams. If you're not with them, you're kind of just a mid-pack dude for the most part.
Yeah, but I'll tell you this much though. What was it last season? Alpine, or not? Alpine. They were just as good as not just as good, but they were able to put up a fight when it came to some of the top spots.
What Alpine they had? What was it? Alonso and
Ocon.
Who else was driving? Ocon.
No, they didn't have Alonso last year.
They didn't.
No, because remember they were still running the pink shit.
That's right. They were running the pink car.
Yeah, and
this
then
year's the blue one.
Yeah, that was just a carbon copy of the Mercedes.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It was just basically a Mercedes.
Yeah, but that's the thing though. That was their time to really shine. I just don't think that they had the drivers to actually put up the numbers.
Well, there's also this sort of criticism of F1 where they're doing that B team type of situation. So you got AlphaTauri,
yes,
which is sort of like I hate to say this, the B team to Red Bull.
Yeah, it's a feeder,
right? Yeah. So it's kind of like half of your grid is sort of you have a pro class and a pro am, almost like a pro am.
Yeah.
Right. In the same Formula One race. And so you're not going to really expect the AlphaTauris, the whatchamacallits, the Alpha, the Alpha, what are they? Are they Alpha
Romero?
Yeah. Or the Alpines. You're not really expecting those teams to kind of run up top and compete with the Ferraris, the Red Bulls, and the Mercedes. Hell, Mercedes is having a hard time competing at the moment.
Yeah. I think what it is with McLaren is because McLaren has high expectation and high goals. And I think they've been wanting for the past 2 seasons to be up there at the top with Red Bull or Mercedes when it might not have been realistic. So with that being said, they were expecting Danny, to show his form, but maybe he just doesn't have the equipment to actually show the form.
I was gonna say, if him and Lando can't do it, dude, maybe it's the car.
I mean, it could be the car. I mean, I'm gonna be honest with you. I think Danny's a good driver, and I'm not in his head when he's driving, right? So I'm not understanding what's going through his head underneath that helmet. but I feel like he's a pretty calm driver, and him being put in the right car in the right situation, I feel like he can perform. If I'm not mistaken, he doesn't crash that much, right?
No, like he's a really good driver. I like I said, if you're not in a Red Bull or a Ferrari,
Mm-hmm.
you're just kind of not there.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like if you took a Charles Leclerc and then you stuck him in a McLaren, I don't think he would be running. I don't think he would have clicked off the many pole positions that he's got.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I don't think he would have done it. I think it's the
He
car.
damn sure wouldn't have.
Yeah, I think what's plaguing him, and that, just a quick sidebar, what's plaguing him is just Ferrari's race strategy. As a
Exactly.
team,
Mm-hmm.
they don't know what the hell they're doing.
And if he's struggling under their lack of guidance, right? What makes we think that he would be, anything good with Zach Brown? Then,
Hmm.
or
Yeah, and that's why I think that's what with Daniel Ricciardo, I would say all things considered, had he stuck with Red Bull,
yeah,
okay, he'd either be doing what Checo Perez is doing,
mm-hmm.
or he'd have probably got a chip under his belt already.
Yeah,
That's what I believe, because I just think Red Bull as a team is kind of dialed in, right? They have a lot of sway and say so in terms of the technical regulations, stuff like that. Like they have a lot of weight to throw around in F1.
Yo, Formula Ultra, aka Code 6, he makes a great point though. It's the truth. I mean, it's kind of like what you just said. You got three teams that are competitive with a greed of 20.
Yeah.
And it kind of gets it's lame in a sense, because you got to think about it, right? In basketball, you usually have a couple teams that are really good, right?
Mm-hmm.
But any other team can turn it around in any given situation, because you're dealing with human emotion, human drive,
Mm-hmm.
and physical attributes, right? In Formula One specifically, if you don't have the money to compete, you're just not going to compete. I don't care how bad you want it. If you don't have the car, you can't do it.
You don't have the car.
You don't.
Like period, dude.
You just don't. You can't do it. Which always brings me back to that main argument why Lewis Hamilton, they say he's only good because of the car. I mean, hell, no one's good without a good car. You know what I'm saying? So, hey, I mean,
yeah, you put the best driver in the best car, you're gonna get the best result, right? You change that formula up in any way, and you're gonna get a variance in results. But
now
that was the whole point of Mercedes snatching up Lewis Hamilton when he was a kid.
Yeah.
Okay. That was the whole point of that, because they knew he would be one of the best drivers, right? So, yeah, I think at the time, I think Daniel Ricciardo left Red Bull right at the time when Red Bull was becoming the team.
Yeah.
And that may have just kind of worked against him.
Yeah, I think that was a little that was probably bad advisement on his end, because I don't think that decision was all his.
No, dude, the decision was the money.
No,
he got shown the money, and that's another thing, right? Sometimes you take the money and you're like, well, I'm going to go and help, build this team. I'm going to be a cornerstone. I'm going to be the centerpiece, right? We're gonna get back to prominence, right? Sometimes, being that guy, and another opportunity opens up, and then you convince yourself, like, okay, I'm gonna be that guy, and they're giving you the paycheck that goes along with that, right?
Yeah.
But then push comes to shove, dude, and when you're still just languishing 5/10, 6/10 behind the top car, and you just can't figure it out, hey, and I'm just saying, dude, like Ricardo he's kind of just been a shell of him. I don't want to say a shell of himself, but he's in a car that's not competitive, man. And like I think it was like with the comment, it was like, dude, out of a grid of 20, there's only 3 teams that are competitive.
Exactly. But that's why it sucks though to see him making. Well, I don't know. Well, I guess he actually did make this comment, but in regards to making like claims like, I still have more of me to show in F1. Like, that's lame that they even putting this man. Well, I mean, I don't know, that they're painting this narrative that he's like, begging to, like he's like down and out. I mean, everybody goes to this type of shit. I mean, honestly, I'm gonna be honest with you. They're treating Daniel Ricciardo like he's somebody who's won a world championship.
No, he had expectations. He
Yeah,
had
but when was that though? That's the thing.
No, when he was at Red Bull, and
Yeah,
I'm
that was a
saying,
long time ago at that
if he would have stuck with Red Bull, I'm saying he would have a championship. Okay, now since he left, he knows like, okay, dude, I have the skills to do it. It's the car.
Yes.
And I'm saying, dude, like, let's just look at his teammate Lando Norris. Okay, Lando Norris. And he's another dude that I'm high on. Okay, Lando's a dope driver, but dude, they are ringing the shit out of that McLaren. They're getting what they can get out of it.
Yeah.
Right. So sometimes it's just like I said, dude. In this new era of Formula One with these new specs, new regulations, and all that, it's really just like I said, it's kind of grossly affected the F1 product. Right, the racing is not even what it used to be.
Yeah,
it's kind of almost like, should I even watch this?
No,
right?
I agree.
Yeah, it's like I'm already kind of expecting either, a Red Bull car or a Ferrari car to essentially finish, basically fill the top three. We may squeeze a Mercedes in there.
Yeah.
Right. But even the Mercedes are kind of struggling with all this. It's really just a Red Bull Ferrari show.
Yeah.
And
pretty much.
And the product is the F1 product in terms of like the quality of the racing. These new cars have not produced at all.
No, I agree. And Formula, he brings up a good point. Roman Grosjean went from being non-competitive in Haas to being on one of the better drivers in Indy because of the equipment. For the most part, it's the same. And he's right, which also makes me think, right? So I watch a lot of Super Formula. Well, don't let me get me lying. I don't watch a lot. I do like the series, and I watch it from time to time. I watch Super Formula, the Formula.
They just had a race here a day or two ago.
At Motegi. No, at Fuji.
No,
they were at
Motegi.
Motegi. Yeah, it was at Motegi. Yeah. I would like to see if I know this is never going to happen, but I would like to see the current.
Don't never say never.
No, but I would like to see the current Formula One class, right? I would like them to see them just switch over and just do one race of Super Formula and just see who wins.
I think the Super Formula cars are better than the F1 cars.
I mean, they look better.
I think they look better. I think they perform better too. When I watch them around the track, they are reminiscent of Formula One cars. They have more of a traditional Formula One performance aesthetic than these new cars do. Dude, I saw a comparison chart, like in terms of size of the cars. Formula One cars of the past to the ones that are current.
Yeah,
these things today are so much bigger.
They are.
Right. They just don't. They don't on track, dude. They don't perform like dude, Formula One cars used to be. Okay, they were kind of small. They used to be actually smaller than Indy cars. Indy cars used to be bigger, and these things were naturally aspirated, and they were darts. They were super quick. They were darts on the track. These things are just big, huge whales going down the track now.
Yeah, I understand, man. Nah, but Super Formula just in general, man, like I do believe that they perform a lot better. They look more stable on the track. It seems like they don't have a lot of problems in comparison to what went on with Formula One, But,
and I think on the same track, I don't think the performance is that much different. They did some. I think I saw some lap comparisons, and I don't. It was like some of the Japanese tracks where they had Formula One cars. They tested them. Dude, I don't know. It was like maybe just barely a second, a little over a second in terms of performance or whatever. But nah, man, I just the look and the size of the Super Formula cars, big fan.
Yeah, for anybody that's watching that has never seen a Super Formula car, this is what we're speaking of. This is the last race round, the recent race at Motegi round 8.
We are ready to roll.
Oh, it's a really good start for Oyu. He's
They look a lot more better. They look a lot better than the Formula One cars to me.
Yeah, this is the other prominent single seater series,
Yeah,
open wheel
it's-
single seater. Yeah, you have Formula One, IndyCar, and then you got Super Formula. These cars right here.
down the back straight.
And these cars run. They run Toyota
Sure,
motors, and
Shino
Honda
is
motors.
And
wiping
Hondas.
nails
And
over there.
a
They
push to
gotta be
pass.
on the
And they have a
like a
push.
DRS.
Yeah, I was gonna say these cars have a push to pass button on them.
Yeah.
Indy cars used to have something like that, right?
I don't know. Formula in the chat, man. Did Indy
As Nojiri
have like a DRS
Did
push
they
to
have a
pass?
push to pass?
as we look back
Pretty sure he'll
to
know.
But look at that. That car looks like
in ninth position,
how a Formula One car
all
should
those
look.
who have hit it. So the proof will be here. Will Nojiri get out ahead of him? It doesn't appear like he
And like
will, actually.
the cars, I
We
don't know,
can't
man.
tell
I just love it. Like the pit stops, like
6.4 seconds stop.
it's
Yeah.
just more
Very
put
quick
together to
indeed.
me.
Well,
There's
look at the
Seki
rear
Gucci.
end of the
That's
suit.
the
These
start.
look like
It's
the
not Seki
older
Gucci.
style
His
Formula One
undercut
cars,
is-
just with a halo,
Yes, true.
right? Like that's. Remember, I was telling you, dude. Somebody posted this meme or whatever. It was on some group I saw on YouTube, and it was like one of the mid 2000s variants of the Formula One cars, and they said, look, take this car and just put a new 2022 spec body kit on it, and let's bring these cars back out. They were literally like, dude, get rid of all this crap.
Yeah.
Just bring a real car back and just give it new aero.
Mhm.
And these cars right here are that right here for the most part.
Pretty much.
Yeah, that's these cars right here.
I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of prominent drivers in these series that are racing. Like they'll race here and then they go to the next one. Nick Cassidy, he was racing with him. He was racing
Yuki
last
Tsunoda
year.
raced in Super Formula before he went over.
Yeah, his crazy ass. It was crazy, man. he be the main one cursing all the other drivers out.
Yeah, okay.
He
You know,
be
I
driving.
think Kamui Kobayashi is racing in Super Formula also.
I think he yeah, he is, but I'm trying to remember who won last year. I think
No,
it
it wasn't
was,
him, yeah.
It was Najuri. No, in P4 right now. Yeah, right. That just made that pass.
Yeah,
Yeah.
on the outside.
Yeah, he won last year.
Okay.
He won last year. He's the man. He's the
uh,
man to beat
that's
right now.
great. That's
But
excellent.
the reason why I like these cars is because they're pretty equal, right?
Yeah.
They're pretty
Oh,
equal.
will he get him on the slipstream?
But I mean, honestly, Honda can never be equal to Toyota for other reasons, because Toyota's usually the best car company in the world.
Took
But,
him on the outside.
right? But
Now we're back
these cars are
up.
pretty
This is
equal, so
there
it's
he is.
constant
Get a car,
battling
get in
throughout the
second.
race.
It's a one-
And you can see just like with that little dice move right there, that was a push to pass move.
Yes.
That's where you kind of see all that weaving and stuff, like coming into the turns.
Yeah.
They're hitting the push, which is interesting because what that does, and I see why they implemented like a push to pass, because they always talk about the aerodynamic disturbances, like what they call it, the wake, right? So like the one car behind the other, right? And how like the air behind the other they call it dirty air or something,
Yes.
right? And so see right there,
Yeah.
that was a put. You see, but that was a good defense right there.
Yeah, real good
That was a
defense.
good-
Didn't
that
give,
was a good
didn't give him no
defense.
space, but he didn't
Yeah.
also run him off either.
But he hit the button to get
Yeah.
around him on. That's what I'm noticing, dude. So the guy defending, he's got to basically deal with the dude who hits the push to pass button, right? And he's got to try to defend that, and that gets around the passing issue when they talk about dirty air and the aerodynamics. These new Formula One cars were supposed to get rid of that,
Yeah.
right? But what it ended up causing was porpoising.
Okay, he's gonna
Right. These cars have no pun intended, the formula. That's why I like Super Formula, dude. IndyCar is dope too, man. They got there's real good racing in those two open wheel series. IndyCar and Super Formula. I think Super Formula has, like, we just watched it. Like, dude, the passing, the defense, everything is pretty gnarly. The only problem is that it's a Japanese based series, so it's not the exposure of it. Like, you got to watch it dude. That race came on what time?
They came
It's-
on like at damn like 12 a.m. because I
Yeah.
tried to stream it. I was streaming it for a little bit.
Oh yeah.
I was streaming it for a little bit, but then I kind of got a little nervous.
Yeah.
Um,
You don't want to get a hit, dude. With
Yeah,
a,
but see, the thing about it is, I be seeing people stream like court cases, so I be like, why I can't stream this? But-
you know, I think you know what, man? I'm not really sure about that one. I've seen other people do it. I've seen people do it with WRC. I've seen other channels stream WRC.
Yeah,
But I don't know, man. Maybe we should just try it one time, man. We should just try streaming this shit, do a live stream. We're gonna like live watch this shit and see see what happens. We get a strike or something.
yeah. I mean, at this point, man, I'm literally trying anything. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
At
I
this
mean, no,
point-
but I think it's good, dude, because like Super Formula is kind of obscure. That's what I'm saying. It's a Japan only uh race series.
Mhm.
And or no, is it just Asia? Is it
Yeah,
Japan?
it's just Japan.
It's just Japan. So
Yeah.
that's the problem. You know, dude, it's like Super GT.
Yes.
It's like some of the other series that are real obscure
Mhm.
because they're Japan only. You know, Japan's an island, so unless there's more of an international exposure, a lot of people really don't know about like Super Formula, Super Taiku, for example,
Mhm.
right? Super GT, right? All those different race series that are like in Japan.
Mhm.
But I swear, man, Super Formula, man, I swear, if more people had eyes on it,
Yeah.
it would be way more popular.
But it's a shame though that they don't have eyes on it, that the world doesn't.
Yeah, that's why we
because-
have to do that streaming, which you're,
Yeah,
you're talking
no, we have to, but Formula brings up a good point. He's saying that it should be its own thing, like Super GT, and I agree. Super GT is one of the most exciting race series in the world to me. I like it better than DTM,
Mhm.
and I like it better than BTCC. Because to me, Super GT is like British touring car racing in the '90s. It's
Super GT.
Yeah, Super GT. Because with Super GT, it's like there's racing etiquette, but they take what they want. You know what I'm saying? When
Dude,
they're out there on the track.
those Super GT races, you gotta think, man. Those cars are like so expensive,
Yeah.
right? And they're like, dude, I can only imagine. I can like I remember watching the old school Super GT races, right? What was it the Calsonic
Skyline.
You had the Castrol Supra.
Mm-hmm.
You had the NSX. You had all these different cars, right? The Mugen NSX. Okay. So all of the components, dude, all carbon fiber, all bespoke,
Mm-hmm.
all very expensive, right? I'm pretty sure all the team owners had like this gentleman's agreement. Like, listen, okay, these are some of the most ballsy cars built. Okay, yeah, it doesn't get more wild. It doesn't get more wild than Super GT back. I would say back in the day, even
Yeah.
now, but back in the day, dude, those cars, you didn't see cars like that.
Mm-hmm.
That was like the appeal of like the Japanese, those Japanese series back then, dude. It was like, dude, they just kind of, even when they did touring cars, the Japanese touring cars, why did their touring cars just look like a tad bit more sicker than, than all the other touring cars that were built in all the other series? The Japanese touring cars were just, everything the Japanese do, they just up it 1 or 2 levels more than anybody else. And so those Super GT cars, man, look, you put those cars on a track with a DTM car,
Mm-hmm.
right? And that's what they tried to do, is synthesize the two regulations.
Mm-hmm.
They tried to do that. I don't know, because I know now DTM has basically become GT3.
Pretty much. No, pretty much. That's what it is.
Yeah. Right? Because there was a time back, it was like the early 2010s, where they were trying to basically sort of merge the Super GT classes with DTM.
No, they were.
Yeah, they were trying. They were
remember
trying
that,
to.
yeah.
Yeah, they were trying to do this whole sort of similar to what they just did with Hypercar and LMDH and all that.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, they were trying to do that with DTM, Super GT, and one other series that was under the FIA. And I guess it just kind of went belly up because you had different manufacturers that had different interests in different platforms, and they couldn't kind of bring it all together.
If I'm not mistaken, last season they did a Super GT DTM mashup. No, it was 2 years ago. Never mind. And it was at Hockenheim.
They did a race. Yeah, I was gonna say they did a race.
Yeah, it was at Hockenheim, but that was 2 years ago. I thought it was
Yep.
like last year.
I think that might have been like that. All that was probably like pre-pandemic, man.
Oh yeah, it was pretty.
Yeah, it's like pre-pandemic.
I think they should do that again. That'd be fun as hell to watch that.
I would. Well, I mean, how does that factor in with like hypercar and all this other stuff now? Because
I'm
see,
not
what they
sure.
just did was they just got rid of LMP1, right, and then went hypercar. And what they did with hypercar, basically, they got the formula down. What they was with what they tried to do early on. So they basically got the hypercar platform down. And if you notice, a lot of the hypercars literally kind of look the same.
Yeah.
Okay, because they run a chassis and then they run their body work over it with their power plant.
Okay.
And that's ultimately what they were trying to do with DTM, Super GT, and all that, right?
Yeah.
And it just kind of didn't work, but you kind of see it now with hypercar and LMDH. LMDH and hypercar, where they have sort of like this one class and all these manufacturers do to pile it in.
Nah, if I can dig.
Yeah.
Nah, man, but Super GT, man, that's gonna always be, like I said, that's my dream, man. One day, I'm telling you, man, I'm gonna be out there. I'm gonna be amongst them. I wish I could be amongst like the older cars, like when I was really watching them, like when I was like in high school and shit like that, in middle school,
Yeah.
when I was watching like the Michael Crumbs. You know what I'm saying? And they was racing like the Calsonics and the Model, the X-Navi, R34s,
Yep.
Pennzoil R34s, and the Wood One Toyota Supras, and shit like that. But I'd be grateful for anything just to be around them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But yeah, man. But hey, man, this gonna bring us to our number one topic, the name of the show
Okay.
today,
Let's
man.
talk about it, man.
How do you feel about the current culture of sim racing?
Man, you know what, dude? You've been baptizing me in the sim racing waters more so, right? I'm
Yeah.
learning a lot of the sim racing stuff from you. Like I got into it like strictly for like practicing, right? And then there was like following dudes. Like, dude, that's how that's how I came across your channel, right?
Yeah.
Because you were actually doing like the content side of it. I was always just kind of looking at it as like well, if I can't get in a cart, you know, maybe I can just practice in a sim rig, right? And then when you start kind of going through the YouTube streets and what have you, you know, encountering different content creators and stuff, and you start to see there's like culture. There's a culture to it, right?
Yeah, it's a culture.
And so you've been putting me up on it. I've been learning it more so from you, and then just kind of like from, you know, like Sim Racing 604, Jardier, you know, all those guys, right?
Yeah.
But there is a culture, man. There's like a part where everybody's like, you know, like peripheral junkies, right? You know, you got your Logic Tech guys, you got Fanatec guys, you got, right? So the dudes that are about the peripherals, right? Maybe even like, you know, there's the platform itself, dude. You got your iRacing guys, you got your ACC guys, right? Automobilista guys, race room guys,
R
right?
Factor.
R Factor guys, right? Gran Turismo even.
Yeah.
You know,
that's what I started on, so you know.
Yeah, but you know, I think with the latest Gran Turismo, I think they really are trying to they're trying to put Gran Turismo into that ACC iRacing realm. Let me ask you, without, you know, because this is all kind of sim racing culture, but do you think Gran Turismo, like, do you think it belongs in that realm with the others, with the true sims?
It can't. I mean, honestly, listen. I haven't played the new Gran Turismo, and I know that's a sin. My younger self would probably kick my ass for saying that. But get your money up, buy a PS5. But anyways, the thing about it is, I don't really think you can compare Gran Turismo to like hardcore sims like ACC or iRacing.
Okay.
You really can't. Uh, it's fun. Gran Turismo is very fun, but it's not as satisfying as it is when you get it just right in ACC.
So
or
you're
iRacing.
saying it's more of a game,
It's a simcade.
Simcade. Oh, I've never heard that term. Okay.
It's a sim. It's a sim arcade game. It's not a full simulator, but
Okay.
it's a simcade. Like it's an arcade game,
Hmm.
but it mimics a simulator. So that's how I view it. Like Gran Turismo is a fun game online to race and all that type of stuff. It is.
But you wouldn't put it in. You wouldn't put it. Okay. So all right. So that kind of leads to like more. Okay, going back into like the sim racing culture thing, right? Because that's where I want. Okay, so that's separate. Because I kind of view it like you. Like I think Gran Turismo is more of a game.
Mhm.
I've always viewed it as a game, right? I just don't see it as like on the same level as an ACC, right?
No, it's kind of hard to.
Yeah, but see, then you have like okay, you got your peripheral junkies, right? Then you
Mhm.
got your platform junkies, right?
Yeah.
Your iRacing guys, and then your
Mhm.
ACC guys, right?
Mhm.
Um, Now when we say sim racing culture, is that separate from the social media side of it? Like like the content creation and the is that separate or is it all kind of one and the same?
Repeat that question again, man.
So like you have the actual racing, right? The actual sim racing. Okay.
Yeah.
Then you have like the social media side, the content creation side of it.
Yeah.
And I'm saying, is that part of the culture?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It is part of the culture. But I, honestly, my opinion when it comes to Gran Turismo, I feel like Gran Turismo culture, and I might be wrong, but this is my view. I feel like Gran Turismo culture is less toxic than other forms of sim racing. I'm being dead serious because I don't think people take Gran Turismo as, even though Gran Turismo makes a lot of money, they have their own. Appreciate that,
We
Kevin,
still
man.
we
But
still view it as a game.
yeah, they still view it as a game, right?
Yeah.
So, and even though they have their own like world championship, you can get win seats to race in other team, other cars and stuff like that. I do not feel that Gran Turismo's culture is as toxic as, say, at iRacing or ACC. Let
Right.
me explain. There's been so much content that I have posted in regards to ACC or iRacing, and it'll be somebody random that come in the comments and just start hate. You know what I'm
Uh-huh.
saying? And I know you get hate anywhere, but they'll say something stupid like, why are you taking that line? You suck. Your SR rating is this, blah blah blah. Like that's normal shit, right? That's just normal hater stuff, and I actually
Mhm.
enjoy it. But it's like you had in ACC or iRacing, if you're not at the top tier and your results don't reflect the fact that you're really really good, people
Mhm.
don't want to hear from you. People don't even want to see you post content. To be honest with you, they don't even want to see your grind.
Well, wait. Let me. Okay, that's curious. You say that. It's curious you say that because I post like the 10-minute stint races.
Yeah.
Like on my channel, I'll post the 10-minute stint races, right?
Mhm.
And really, it's just kind of maybe me sort of like talking through the whole race, just
Mhm.
kind of what I'm thinking while doing it. And you always, with me, I have certain parameters that I set up. I always start from the back, and my whole goal is to just see how many positions I can pick up in 10 minutes, right? In
Yeah.
a 10-minute race, right? That's usually my goal for that stuff. So I guess maybe sometimes if and this is kind of why I'm asking about the content side of things, right?
Mhm.
If maybe the premise if the premise is okay, well, yeah, we're gonna set these conditions. We're gonna do a nighttime race, and we're gonna do wet weather conditions, right? And we're gonna see what we
Mhm.
can do. And people, maybe people will check in on your content to see, all right, well, what track is he gonna be at? What are gonna be the conditions? What's this that, right?
Mhm.
Maybe sometimes that's why I'm like maybe the content and what you create out of all of this stuff, right?
Yeah.
Maybe there's some that I think that's part of like that culture because I've been trying to crack that nugget. right?
Yeah.
Like, dude, we're just straight up racing heads, right?
Mhm.
So in my head, I'm over here like, oh yeah, if I just flip a camera on, just show you guys on track, like this shit should go viral or something.
Yeah, yeah.
But no, people want something more compelling out of the content that you're making out of this. This is where like the appeal of like dudes like Jardier and all those guys come into play, right?
Mhm.
Like think about it, dude. Like the guy is always like, when does Jardier ever get mad?
He's always laughing.
Yeah,
he's always giggling for
yeah, you know what
lack
I
of better
mean.
words.
Yeah, and I think that's where the social media part and the sim racing, like it's a different culture that we are accustomed to in terms of racing. We come
Yeah.
from karting, dude. That shit's intense, dude. And you've seen it at track, dude. Like dudes will literally come to fisticuffs out there.
Oh yeah, they'll come to fisticuffs, and they'll have dads fight kids.
Yes, yeah. It's a very real thing. Whereas I
Yeah.
think with this is we're kind of maybe trying to appeal to an audience. Think about it like this, right? We've always imagined, you know, let's say in a real car,
Mhm.
right? And we have an onboard camera, and there's people that can actually watch what we're doing in real time, right?
Mhm.
Okay. Well, this whole social media venue with regards to the realistic aspects of sim racing and stuff like that kind of gives us that. It gives us that ability to do it, but literally the way we want to do it. And I think that this is sort of like a new venue, man.
Yeah,
Wait, what? That was Gran Turismo, wasn't it?
yeah, that was Gran Turismo.
Yeah, that looks super video gamey as hell.
Well, that was Gran Turismo 4. That was like the one I was playing in high school. So, but that's the one I loved.
But
Four,
dude, wait,
to
but
me,
did-
4 was the best. That was the best series ever. That was the best one. Gran Turismo 4.
Is they're on GT7, right? This is GT7 now, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's GT7. It still looks like a video game to me.
I mean,
I
it's just
gotta
it's-
be real with you.
No, it is. But the thing about it is, one of these days, Gran Turismo is gonna focus like headstrong, like all in on the driving aspects of it, right?
Yeah.
And they're just gonna get it right. And let's put it this way, if you took iRacing's driving physics and you put it in Gran Turismo would be the best sim racing game ever.
No way. Better than
Okay.
ACC.
No. Listen to what I'm saying though.
Okay.
Does Gran Turismo look better than iRacing? No. Think about a new Gran Turismo. I'm talking about Gran Turismo 7, Gran Turismo 6.
Okay.
Do they
And
look-
then and iRacing.
Yeah, it looks better than iRacing, right?
You know what?
All right, I'll show you.
No, wait. No. You may have something to that. I've always thought, I don't know if it was me.
Yeah.
Or if it was me and my crappy eyesight, or
Uh-huh.
if iRacing didn't have as good graphics as it looks. Like, I don't know. I think iRacing's graphics are just kind of not up to snuff, especially compared to ACC. So GT7, the graphics look very crisp, but they look kind of video gamey though. That's why I'm saying that.
I don't know, man. I'm about
No?
to show you something right now.
It might be my crappy eyesight then, man.
Look, this is Gran Turismo 7. This is a trailer. This is the Gran Turismo 7 trailer, right? We're gonna speed through
Okay.
it.
All right.
This is the one that everybody was going crazy over at the time.
Yeah, they're just losing their shit over.
So this is this.
Okay.
But like
that looks ACC-ish.
exactly, but the graphics, it's because of the engine itself and like Sony, like the graphics are like much more cleaner. Now,
Okay.
I'll say
Okay,
this
I see.
much. I'll say this much. If we took Gran Turismo's graphics and you mixed it with iRacing or ACC, it would be the best sim racing game on the market. Like there would be no argument for that, because the thing about it is iRacing's graphics aren't bad, right?
Mhm.
They're not bad. But can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
All right, cool. They're not bad, right? But they're like 3 years away from being the best. ACC is really good
Mhm.
if you have a great computer.
Yeah.
If If you don't, then
It's good night,
choppy.
Irene. Yeah, it's choppy.
But Gran Turismo is the best looking racing game ever. Now, Project Cars gives them a run, but Gran Turismo is the best looking racing game, in my opinion, ever. It just doesn't have the driving capabilities of iRacing or ACC.
Okay, so you're saying best looking. Okay,
Best looking.
I'll give you that. Okay, you think you because right now to me ACC is tops across
Yeah,
the
it
board,
is.
right?
But it
It's
doesn't
top.
look better. But it doesn't look better.
And
than
that's what I was going to ask you. You
Gran
think
Turismo.
Gran Turismo looks better than ACC?
Yeah, Gran Turismo looks
Yeah?
better.
Okay.
Yeah, it looks a lot better.
Okay.
But I don't. But I know ACC is a lot more rewarding, and I feel like if I drove ACC for 1,000 hours, I would feel like I'm way more prepared to drive a real race
Real
car.
car. Yeah,
than
that's
compared to,
my
like,
thing, man. I think ACC beats out everybody because it's the realism and the feedback and the driving, right? Like it's bar none, right? Project I want to try Project Cars and some of these other sims because see they have like the LMP cars, they have different cars, man, that are that you can even run leagues in, right? Like with ACC, I swear, man, I wish you had more options in terms of the type of cars you can run. But I understand why ACC is as dialed in as it is because they literally use all the data compiled from all those teams, and they dumped it into this thing, and so that's why it's hyper realistic. And then AC, just a set of Corsa. With so many mods, with so many mods, you kind of get that it's more of an iRacing type of feel, right? I put a Assetto Corsa, right, kind of like on par with iRacing. ACC, Assetto Corsa Competizione, I'm sorry, that's just above, right? This GT right here, this is GT.
Yeah, this is Gran Turismo. This is the new one. This is on PS5 in 4K.
Okay.
So I'm just saying, like, imagine these graphics.
Did they have an in-car? Is there a GT7 in-car perspective?
Yeah.
Can you pull? Yeah, let's pull up a video of that because see this. I would say that even if you like, let's say if you did like the camera footage of a race in ACC, and then you do the exterior camera like this, it's gonna look kind of the same. I want to know what that in-car perspective looks like in GT7. Because I don't have a PlayStation or nothing, and I literally have not played Gran Turismo probably since like GT. Was it the second or third one?
I didn't see it. Let me go. Let's go camera views.
Yeah. I want to see what the in car looks like. That'll be, because that'll probably give a better perspective.
Well, I can show you this one real quick.
Okay.
Hey, I have that same helmet.
You have a Rye helmet?
Yeah, it's a SK6.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh shit.
See, that still looks video gamey to me.
It does. It does look video gamey, but it's smooth. Because iRacing, I don't know, man. I don't know. I couldn't see. I
gotta play it.
being any better.
I gotta play it, dude. I guess my problem is that when I think of ACC and I like, let's say I'm looking at that in-car perspective, I know exactly how it feels on my sim rig.
Yeah,
and it feels really shit, right? And I don't even have like I haven't even put the mod in my pedal kit. I still have the mod like literally sitting in a bag over there. It's just, a little spring mod or whatever. But even with like sort of like that real mushy sort of pedal feel, the car dynamics, how it feels, the sounds, everything, it just gives me more of a real feel. And like I said though, I haven't played Gran Turismo in so long. I need to just play it. I can't have a full bias unless I play the shit.
Well, there's no way you're gonna say that ACC. There's no way you're gonna say that Gran Turismo better than ACC
until I play it.
Well,
I
you
can't,
won't.
I can't actually say that, right, until I play the 2, and then I can make a judgment, right?
Yeah.
The only thing I can say is, for me, it's sort of like playing ACC. GT looks very video gamey to me. Like, it doesn't give me the realistic feel.
Yeah.
But once again, I haven't played it. Right, I'm looking at video on YouTube, and I'm looking at like the outer camera angle on the car, and I'm not looking at the in car or
In-car,
from the steering wheel perspective. So I
Yeah.
need to play it, man. But you got to go and get a goddamn PlayStation for all that.
Yeah, no, you do. Because like I could buy it, but I don't want to play it on PS4. I don't feel like that's right.
Wait, you
but
could play GT7 on PS4 or PS5?
yeah,
Oh,
it's
see, I
just
didn't even know that.
it's just something won't let me. I just don't feel like that's right. I've been playing Gran Turismo, man. I've been playing Gran Turismo since what 99, 98.
You only feel there's a right way to do it.
I
That's
feel
it.
like there's only a right way to do it, and I just don't feel like that's. I'm missing out on a lot. But hey, once I sell my cart, I might actually buy one. Who knows? But anyway,
Damn, you're gonna sell the car for a PlayStation?
well, I'm gonna sell the cart for more sim racing gear.
Yeah. No, that's what I thought you were gonna sell it and just get like. I think I'm gonna follow your lead, dude. I'm gonna put the mod kit in these pedals.
Yeah.
But then I'll probably just buy a new pedal kit. Because you were telling me about the load cells and all that stuff. It's just like the feel is just fundamentally different.
It's totally different.
Just
I'm telling you,
totally
man.
different,
Just
yeah.
get you some Fanatec V3s, man. It's call it a day.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, man. If you just do that, man, you'll notice the difference like that quick.
Yeah. But look, let me do this. Let's go. Let me do this. Because I had to run to the restroom real quick. But
Yeah.
I didn't want to lose a point, right? I wanted to throw this your way because I was just looking at the question, right? Bring it back up. Is about sim racing culture.
Gotcha. Hold on.
Okay, there was another point, kind of related to this question, but maybe sort of like a different angle, right? The current sim racing culture. Okay, so is it also going to be something that's predicated more on, say, like actual physical racing, or not physical racing, but are people that in sim racing, right? Because it's not physical. Okay, so typically we're doing this from home. Well, typically we are doing it from home usually. You might have like, your various channels, like your Twitch, your Facebook, right? I don't know if you're doing Instagram. I don't know if they do all that or whatever, right? But it's almost as if it's like, as a driver, you're almost maybe sort of like your own individual entity versus like, say, like in traditional motorsport, there's a team. Maybe we were just talking about Daniel Ricciardo and all that stuff, right? So I think with sim racing culture also, it is sort of like you kind of are your own brand almost. You can pick what,
Yeah, you are your own brand.
You're your own brand. You can pick whatever car. You have the freedom to do that. You can design the car, in terms of the liveries and stuff like that. So sim racing culture kind of allows you to also maybe even kind of tailor this to your own suiting and liking, right? You know what I mean? It's like it's really interesting, man, and that's kind of where I actually take cues from you, and maybe it's like other people. I haven't even gone into it this far, but these are just my observations, right? Like I said, I look at Jardier. He'll drive a bunch of different cars. He'll do different leagues, different this, different that, and people love him anyway, regardless of what race he's doing. You know what I mean? It doesn't matter. So I think people follow the content creator who does the sim racing, right? Then you have like the the hardcore like sim racing teams, right? McLaren has a esports team. Mercedes has like manufacturers, they all have esports teams and all that. And I think that's a different beast, right? And I think there is some relation between the two because it is online, right? All these races are broadcast online, right? That's where all of the marketing, all of the exposure is basically happening. It's online.
Yeah.
Right. So I think it's all still very new too, man. That's why I can't really kind of pin down like current sim racing culture and then maybe kind of where it's going, because I see so many different things happening with it.
I mean, listen, it is. I think I'm kind of fairly new to it, right?
Mhm.
I'm fairly new, so I'm about 2 years in, 2.5 years in, right? Um, I think the sim racing culture, yeah, it is fairly new, right? But yo, what up, Darius? Um, I think in the next 5 years, the next 5 or 6 years, when we start seeing more, uh, how do you say, more innovation when it comes to the integration of
Mhm.
like virtual reality and sensory techniques,
Yeah,
sim racing is gonna be on some other shit.
it
Like,
is.
like, so you know how we say driving with the seat of your pants,
Mhm.
whatever that term maybe is.
Mhm.
That's gonna be like you're gonna really probably feel that because we already have motion sims.
Well, I was gonna say, do you think haptics are gonna come more into play?
You said habits.
Haptics. So haptics, like haptics.
What is that?
So haptics is like so. For example, you have like these haptic speakers that you could sit around your sim rig, right? And so like what it does is the sounds give off the engine notes,
Yeah,
and they kind of shift the resonancy of
yeah, I
the
know what you're
engine
talking
notes
about.
depending on where you're turning, and like you can kind of feel it in your body
You talking about like
almost.
a bass shaker?
Yeah, yeah, they call it haptic
Yeah,
sound,
yeah,
like
yeah,
haptic sound systems or
yeah.
sound devices and
Or
stuff
butt
like that.
kicker and shit
Yeah,
like that. Yeah, well,
yeah.
that's what
So
they
you
call
get
it.
these haptic speakers and you sit them like beneath like the seat or around the seat.
Hmm.
Okay. Then you also have like your actual motion sim rigs, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Where it's like a 3 axis or 2 3 axis or something like that.
Hmm.
So okay, there's these other levels of immersion. Um, I don't know how far you go with that.
Man, listen, listen. So you know how we have gloves, right?
Mhm.
I think that they're gonna start making gloves to where you can really feel the vibration to where you could possibly start to feel blisters depending on what type of car you drive. I I really believe that these motion rigs are
Mhm.
you're really going to start to feel everything in a car within the senses of your body.
Yeah, dude.
Eventually.
Kimi Räikkönen was doing hella sessions in a sim rig before
Mhm.
he jumped in to start testing the for that race for the Watkins Glen race.
Mhm.
Dude, they were talking like it was like last week or a week or
Mhm.
two ago. He
Mhm.
was putting in like hella laps in a sim rig, dude.
But yeah, but follow this. But this is what I'm saying. What I'm saying is going to be deeper. Like for instance, like when you're driving a cart, right?
Mhm.
When you're driving a cart, you feel everything. So if you kind of vent your visor, you feel the wind.
Yeah, yeah,
You know what I'm saying? If somebody hits a wet patch, you're gonna feel that water.
yeah.
It's raining outside. Anyways,
You
you're,
speaking of water.
you're gonna see you're gonna see that you're gonna feel that water hit you. What I'm basically trying to say is, I feel like there's gonna be like a suit that they're gonna probably start selling, and this is probably an idea that I probably shouldn't even put online. But they're gonna sell a suit to where you feel everything. You feel everything. So therefore, if you go over like a dirt patch, you're gonna feel
Yeah,
that on your bottom side of your thigh if you're racing a kart, like in Kartcraft or Kart Sim or whatever, Sim Racing Kart Pro. You're gonna
yeah.
feel the if your
Like you're
seat,
gonna feel the wetness
you're
even
gonna
though you
feel it.
don't.
Yeah.
Yeah,
If your
even though you're
seat
not, your ass
scrapes,
isn't wet.
yeah, if your seat scrapes, you're gonna feel that uneasiness. Like, damn, should I continue? Fuck it, we gotta win.
Yeah,
You're gonna feel that uneasiness. Your ribs are gonna start to hurt. Like, I feel like there's gonna get to a point to where it's gonna be just like that in sim racing. And when it gets like that, it's gonna weed out a lot of people.
wow.
I'm
Damn,
just
dude,
playing.
that's like that's some next level shit, dude. So it's like the competitive advantage
Yeah.
is in all of the haptic peripherals. On the brain trust, dude,
Mhm.
I covered. It was like maybe the last space and technology live stream that I did.
Yeah.
There's a haptic suit, a bodysuit
Mhm.
that Tesla is doing.
Oh, like a bodysuit.
Yeah, it's a whole haptic bodysuit.
Now I've seen those haptic, like, now I'm saying haptic, and now I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
I've seen the vest, like kind of like, you ever seen
Hmm.
the vest ones where it's
Yep.
like they're just, you know what I'm talking about? Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's what I mean. It's like, dude, Tesla invested in a whole suit. They have there's
Mhm.
gloves. They said the gloves are like 5K alone.
Mhm.
Okay. Then the rest of the suit, I forgot how much. It's like a stupid amount of money.
Mhm.
But yeah, it'll do basically what you're talking about.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but that I didn't connect the two when you were saying, "Yo, no, I think it's gonna go here." And I'm like, "Wait a minute, you know what? You're talking about that Tesla suit, like
Yeah.
that suit." I was looking at, and literally, the article that I covered, I think it's from TechCrunch. You
Mhm.
see, like there's a picture of a guy. He has like the damn VR headset on. He's doing this. And he has this whole suit on,
Mhm.
and that's actually pretty crazy, man. That would be kind of scary to see sim racing evolve to something like that, dude. Where, look, for all of that, just getting a real damn car.
Yeah, you got a point there. You
Yeah,
got
yeah.
a
If we're gonna
point.
if we're gonna go there, if you're gonna do all that, think about like, dude, how much? Like, I think, like I said, the gloves, those half the gloves, I think were 5K. So the
Mhm.
suit was a shit ton of money. If
Mhm.
you're gonna spend all that money to do all that, you may as well just go buy you a damn regular ass racing suit
Mhm.
and go get rent some seat time in a real car. You may as well just get the real
Mhm.
thing in.
But here's the thing about it is we already know how the market is and just how how economies work.
Hmm.
Whenever somebody develops something like that, there's going to be a bunch of companies that are going to start developing less expensive ones.
Yeah, yeah, it brings the
So,
cost down.
you know what I'm saying, brings the cost down. So it's going to be doable. It's just going to be like, it's just like going to be like to the point to where it's like, yeah, I don't want to race because I got to worry about entry fees. I got to worry about tires. I got to worry about maintenance, blah, blah, blah.
Hmm.
But if I just buy this for one time fee, I'll make my money back in a year. It's
Yeah,
kind of like why, like I told you over the phone, why I'm investing more in sim racing versus, continuing to kart.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying? Like I feel like the gain is a lot higher and a lot quicker for me if I just invest more into sim racing
sim,
versus
yeah,
continuing to kart. Kart's
yeah.
karting's fun. You can't compare sim racing to karting because you're there. You
Well,
know
I
what I'm
was saying,
saying?
like, karting is legit a discipline,
It's a yeah.
right? There's your basic, there's your entry level forms of
Mhm.
karting, and then there's your balls to the wall.
Mhm.
You know, like, I'm talking like either shifter or super kart, right? That's like the super insane shit. So you have like your range there, and but it's its own discipline. I think what you're saying, like with sim, we're talking about that range, right? I have the basic setup. I literally have like a G29 setup,
Mhm.
right? I have a nice little rig that I can run any sim on it. But my wheel, my seat, all that. That's it's pretty basic, right?
Mhm.
Then you got the guys that got like the whole like $20,000, fifty thousand
Yeah, like
dollar
Boost
setup.
Media.
Yeah,
I think he said his
Boost
stuff was
Media.
a
He's like a
hundred
hundred
was a
thousand,
hundred thousand,
hundred
man.
thousand dollars.
Damn, that's a
That's
tax write off, right?
crazy. Well, he look, man, he makes, okay, there you go. Content. He does all of this to make the content that he's making. And dude, his rig is amazing, dog.
Amazing.
Half the time, dude, I don't even know if you wonder he's riding a real car or not.
No, I was thinking the same thing when I used to watch his
Dead
videos.
ass.
I'm like, where does the
Yeah, yeah.
TV screen start and where
It's
does
like,
it
yo, wait,
end?
are you in a real car? Like, yo,
Yeah.
like that's how real his shit is. So if you make the investment, and then you got the social media piece, because
Yeah.
this is how sim racing works, dude. It works in this social media realm.
Mhm.
So some guys, like, they have a shtick or a formula, man.
Mhm.
And um I think this is all still new.
Mhm.
I don't think there's like one true way to go about it, right? I think sim racing culture is still burgeoning. There's still areas and ways to go with it.
Mhm.
That's what I think.
You know what's so funny though about this whole situation? How we're talking about like sim culture and where it's going.
Hmm.
There's somebody right now with a group of people in a room creating the best sim racing game that we're ever going to speak of.
They already did. It's called ACC.
Yo, no, but I'm being serious, man. Like
Uh-huh.
that's how it always is, man. There's always somebody that's working underneath that's
Yeah,
not televising what they're doing, and they're just gonna drop it.
yeah.
You know what I'm
Dude,
saying?
there's people that are on the ACC dev team,
Mhm.
dude. You already know, dude. They know the ins and outs,
and they're gonna
right?
leave.
And then they're gonna go and start their own studio, and yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's kind of like I think some of the NBA Live people. This is a different topic. The NBA Live went to like NBA 2K
Hmm.
um, to create that game. Some of the games in there, but nah, man. But yeah, but overall with sim racing culture, it's more or less to me. I feel like it's a helpful community, but you have to be able to navigate the areas of sim racing in order to find your tribe
Hmm.
to be able to prosper in this game.
Yeah.
Luckily for me, I have some really good people within sim racing that are very helpful, honest, and want to see me get to greater heights. But I do know that when you come into the sim racing world and say you really want to be like you're taking it more serious than a normal casual guy that might be an accountant but he just races on the weekend type stuff,
Hmm.
yeah, like it can be kind of like intimidating to the sense because even when you post something, it just seems like people want to put you down as opposed to kind of build you up or give you tips on how to get quicker or blah blah blah. You know what
Hmm.
I'm saying? Because you're constantly comparing your skills to other people, and you're trying to figure out how to get faster. And even in racing, sim racing itself, you could race all you want, but it seems like when you race, there's like a wall you hit. It's like I can't get faster than this time. I don't understand how you do it. This guy is like 10 seconds faster than me. How do you even get past this?
Right.
And then you just start to realize you can't rush the process. You know,
Hmm.
but I don't think a lot of people really tell newcomers that. I don't think a lot of people even express that you can't rush the process. It's just seat time, seat time, seat time, and that's the only way it's going to be able to get. That's the only way you're going to be able to get yourself to where you want to get within sim racing. You
Yeah,
know.
I think setups are also a thing,
Mm-hmm.
right? I think setups really are a thing, right? And that's kind of where sim racing separates itself from, like, say, like just a mere video game,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like, dude, I have a Motec data logger. I have all the software and I patch it. I can patch the stuff into ACC, right?
Mm-hmm.
Pull runs, throw it into Motec, right? I can do analysis, and I'm not even like a actual race engineer like that, right? I know how
Mm-hmm.
to, like, find data in Motec. I know how to do all that stuff. But like a person who literally, the dude on the track that goes to the car, plugs the computer in, right? Has the Motec data logger, pulls the data up, then he says, okay, look, we're gonna just drop the temps on the tires, right? 5 psi all the way around. Or, you know what? I'm going to change the engine map to do this, right? Because, there's still a lot of motor when you're getting down at the end of the track. So let's change the map. So,
Mm-hmm.
the motor you use the motor is using the power correctly. So there's the engineering side of things, and like with the capability of like iRacing, because you can do that in iRacing too. You can use data logging software to literally analyze your car performance attributes, lap times, stuff like that. You can actually do that in iRacing. You can do it in ACC. I think you can do it in Assetto Corsa also. I'm not sure about any of the other ones. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
but you can actually use real time Motec stuff. And so this is where you get that the convergence of like the real world race environment and then the sim environment, and
Mm-hmm.
where you have engineers from, say, like top motorsports teams that dabble in both, because
Mm-hmm.
they're like, okay, well, let me take the data from this and let me stick it into a virtual environment, and let's
Mm-hmm.
see how closely this stuff correlates, right?
Yeah.
Or let's just say you're in a virtual environment and you contact, say, like a Porsche engineer. You're like, hey man, what's the best setup at this track for the wet? What do you
Mm-hmm.
guys run in this car? That dude could literally tell you. You go in, change the variables in that car for that race, and you'll see a legit difference.
Mm-hmm.
You get what I mean? So there's that part to it too, like where we start to see this convergence of the real world stuff into the sim stuff. And like I said, man, this is so green that there's the content creator side of it where you just get the followers and the popularity and all that. But then
Mm-hmm.
there's the actual competition and the racing side of it,
Yeah.
right? and there's like these different approaches, but ultimately it's all being pushed on like social media.
Yeah.
No one's going to a sim racing event. Okay, like no one literally leaves their house to go somewhere else to watch people race from their house. You get what I mean? All the sim racing action is happening on the sim racing channels. That
Mhm.
means dudes are at home. Then they're patched into their Discord with their team guys, and then
Mhm.
their team guys are telling them, "All right, dude, change this setup, do this, that, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera." Dude, even with like the endurance races that are in sim, how
Mhm.
they conduct the driver changes, all that kind of stuff, dude. That's a whole thing, man.
Yeah.
I'm new to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nah, I agree. I'm just laughing at what Formula said. He said, "I wish I had an engineer. I'd be so much better." Hell, I wish I had an engineer too.
Yeah, right. All of us, don't we all?
Hell yeah. Nah, but it's true. The driver is always key, like Darius said. You know, computer didn't think what the time that he did was possible.
Mm-hmm.
But that is always the case.
Yeah.
Um, there's so many possibilities that I feel like there are within sim racing. There's a lot of heavens that haven't been touched,
Mm-hmm.
and that's why I think the content creator game, um, it's limitless because there's so many things that people are seeing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
In regards to running tire pressures differently, or varying tire pressures in the front rear, the front passenger, tire versus the right driver rear, stuff like that. So
Mm-hmm.
there's a lot of ways people are trying different things in order to achieve greatness in sim racing. And I feel like the good thing about sim racing and the culture itself is that it allows you to find the best you within this game. So, for instance, if everybody started to create sim racing content today, because there's a lot of sim racers that don't create content. But if
Mm-hmm.
everybody just chose to record the videos and upload them to YouTube like today, they will all be different. You will all have different points of views. You have different driving styles. You have all that.
You see way more rage quitting.
You see way more rage quitting, which I've tried my best to discipline myself to not do that anymore. Which I've been doing pretty good. I don't rage quit anymore.
Yeah.
But
You rage quit. I just basically like usually if I crash out, I'll just like fuck. Dude.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, sometimes if I crash, like it's no point in me just sitting here for 30 minutes because I crashed in the
Oh
first
yeah,
lap.
yeah, yeah. You just may as well just like
I
let
might
me
as well
just
just
restart
leave.
this whole damn
I'll
session.
just take the hit,
Yeah.
because it does hurt my,
Your rating.
my rating and everything like that. But overall, I will say just to get back on it, when we're talking about the sim racing culture, everybody's gonna have their gripes within a particular lane that they're in. Um, I think with this lane that I'm in, that we're both in, that generally the people that are watching us that we're in, um, we have the ability to make this culture, greater than what it is now. And the only way we're going to do that is just to have, discussions on how we're going to make it better. As far as innovation talk,
Mm-hmm.
as far as support talk, as far as putting people up on game when it comes to them becoming a better driver. For
Yeah.
instance, with me, like I said, I've restructured my goals when it comes to sim racing and what I want to produce on my channel, and the goals that I have. Number one, for me personally, I need to get some type of driver coaching. And I love the fact that within sim racing, they push driver coaching.
Mm-hmm.
I love that because all they're doing is just trying to make everybody more competitive, because in sim racing, it sucks getting your ass kicked. It
But dude, it
does.
sucks getting your ass kicked in any kind of racing. I think with
Mhm.
sim, um, like I said, man, I usually, well, here's the thing about sim racing. It affords you the ability to do the practicing on your own, right? You kind of create your own sort of training methods. And so, like for me, I have one where, as I was telling you, I'll do stint races, 10 minutes. uh, start last place, and
Mm-hmm.
my whole aim and goal is to see how many places I can pick up.
Mm-hmm.
Right, so I have 10 minutes. So I'm giving myself a challenge. I have 10 minutes to pick up as many positions as I can.
Yeah.
They can be at tracks that I'm good at, tracks that I'm not so good at.
Mm-hmm.
Change the weather conditions. Maybe it's night, maybe it's day, right? Wet, whatever. But the whole point is in 10 minutes, how many positions can I make up? And over time, you really start honing in your racecraft, right? You only have 10 minutes. Okay. You're never going to get up to the front in 10 minutes in a 10 minutes. It's just not going to happen starting from 25th, right? But the whole point is that you get good repetitiously, right? At picking through the field, or in that one car, getting used and acclimated to the feel of that car. You just get right out there, no matter what track it is. You already know how it's going to feel when you start, right? So there's also these sort of like these self-induced training methods, you know, even from my karting days, right? There's certain things, dude, certain team guys, the guys that I saw, they had certain things that they would do. Other teams had other things to do. They came up with their own methods,
Mm-hmm.
right? So it's that's why the sim thing is like, I like this conversation. It's because this is a new venue largely. People have been doing iRacing. They've been doing it for some years, right? It's
Mm-hmm.
been around for a while, but when we're getting to where we've got like all the proliferation, all these online leagues, especially after the pandemic,
Mm-hmm.
that's where a lot of the stuff blew up.
That's true. That's true. The
That's where,
pandemic really helped sim racing.
yeah, it blew sim racing up, dude. Like, it was because of all that I ended up buying my rig.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I think what's happening now, this is all very new. I think there's gonna be guys, dude, that um, they're gonna come up with their own methods for driver trainings. I have my own ideas, for example, right? And this stuff that I take from karting, stuff that I do with ACC now, and then just other things that I think about in terms of like how to see the track, approaching
Mm-hmm.
lines, things that I've actually tried in ACC that kind of work,
Mm-hmm.
you know. So I think this can go a number of ways, dude. Like, you got, what's his name, Coach Dave. He has a whole coaching academy.
Yes.
Nick, I'm trying to remember his name. He's
It's like
got a coach.
he's an Italian guy.
Yeah, Belgian, Italian, something like that.
Yeah.
Nick,
Yeah.
Nick something.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm sub to him. He's really good.
Mhm.
And these guys do their kind of coaching academies, and they're kind of just online, or they're just on their YouTube channel, right? You can purchase setups from them. You can get
Mhm.
personal coaching time with them, but
Mhm.
just what they upload is valuable.
No, it is. But that's the thing. Like nowadays, so much information is at your disposal.
hmm Wait,
You
you
know.
said Speed Secrets podcast is pretty good.
Yeah, I
Speed
never
Secrets,
heard of that.
never heard of them. Okay,
I
let me
pinned
check
it.
them
I
out.
pinned it because that's something I want to check out
Yeah,
too.
let me check that out.
But there's so much information at your disposal that you can use, to get better. For instance, Dave Cam, um,
Dave Camp. Yep.
he he spoke about
At Midas,
this
we make sure
braking
every stop on your
braking technique that he does.
Mhm.
He does this on the practice track in iRacing, and it's supposed to help you trail brake. Because trail braking is a very key aspect, in
Mhm.
sim racing. Karting, not so much.
No, hell no, man. I've tried trail
uh,
breaking and karting and got my ass kicked as a result.
I mean, it just doesn't work like that. It's just a whole different.
Yeah.
It's just a whole different animal when it comes to that. But yeah, it's just supposed to help you with trail braking. For me, I've been trying to develop my own training techniques.
Mhm.
In karting, I have my own training technique that I got from like Ryan Norberg. Well, not my own, but a couple training techniques like
Yeah,
I got
Rev
from
Ryan
Ryan
Norberg.
Norberg. Like
Yeah.
he would drive, like he says when you practice, there's a lot of things what he says, but one of them he says that when you practice, drive with one hand. Um, like try to do like laps with one hand. Um, yeah, it's hard, but it teaches you endurance within your arm itself.
Yeah,
Um,
I can see that.
and then also one thing he would say is that when you're driving, say for instance, like normally you do like an 18 lap race or
Mhm.
16 lap race, you need to be practicing double that,
Yeah.
and because you don't want to be beat at the end of the race.
We know you don't. Yeah, you don't want to be gassed.
You don't want to be gassed. You want to
Yeah.
still be able to. You want to
Yeah,
still be able
physically and
to go.
mentally, you don't want to be gassed
Mhm.
at the end of the race. No, that's very true. Those are very and Ryan is the guy, right? Because all his uploads like show improve what he does. All his
Mhm.
uploads, right? When he's on
Mhm.
track, like you see it.
Yeah, you can see. You could also see his patience.
Yeah.
Whenever he races, um, he's always like the first lap or something like that. He gets passed by like 3 or 4
Mm-hmm.
people,
Mm-hmm.
but then he slowly picks them off. You know,
That's
it's,
why I follow him too.
yeah.
He's very methodical. Well, and it's like I said, like he's one of those dudes that like literally, and I've commented a few times on his some of his videos where I just like, dude, like as somebody who also karts, I'm like, dude, you have no idea like how much you're helping dudes out who kart,
Mhm.
right? Saying some of the stuff that you're saying, I'm like, you're literally like those are like the missing puzzle pieces. You know what I mean? Because when you say he's patient, he always stresses this. He's like, dude, like it's gonna take like to lap 3 or 4 before they heat and the tires even come in,
Mhm.
right? Then he'll start talking about like, okay, well, you know, if you notice that, you know, because either the tires are heated or the tires are worn, right? Because
Mhm.
like what uh, with certain events and stuff, you can only run the same set of tires, right? So he's talking about, okay, well, look, sometimes you'll have guys that are running quick laps, and then
Mhm.
all of a sudden, let's say later in the day, the cart falls off,
Yeah.
right? Track temp went up, stuff like that. So he says, okay, well, if you're overshooting your turns more, he's just like, dude, adjust,
Mhm.
right? So start your braking a little bit early so you can hit your marks, right? He teaches like being conscious and cognitively aware of what's going on when you're doing it, right? And that's what he's very good at communicating. That's why I'm a big fan of his. And I'm saying, like, in every video you'll see where he's like, yeah, I started 12th, I started 15th, ended up second.
Mhm.
And then he has the footage and he'll walk you through what his thought process was,
Exactly.
getting up to that. So no, I value when Ryan does uploads. Oh yeah, totally.
Yeah, he's the man. He's a wealth of knowledge
Hmm.
when it comes to that. Not too long ago, I think his motor had got confiscated. Um,
Oh, did they? Did they
yeah,
they checked his motor?
they confiscated his motor. I mean, he came back clean.
Of course he did.
So, but then
Because he runs
they
with
was
what
hating
is
on
it?
that man. They was hating on him.
Yeah, what is it? Rollison? Those guys, Rollison.
Yeah,
That's the
Rawson.
team he runs with.
RPG. Yeah,
Yeah. Those guys, man.
they run that.
They
What's that
run the
one cart?
Cosmic cart.
The Cosmic
Yeah, they run
OTKs.
Cosmic. Yeah, those
Yeah.
guys. They're SCUSA mainstays. Those guys have been running SCUSA for years. Ryan's been running SCUSA for years. Right. So
Mhm.
that's crazy that but if you're always at the top, you're always winning.
Yeah.
At a certain point, yeah, they're just gonna pull your motor. They're gonna be like, yeah, some people are complaining. We just gotta check. You gotta check your shit.
Which I think that's unfair. I'm gonna tell you why. Because when they pull it, right,
Hmm.
you don't get the motor back.
Yeah.
Like now, I gotta pay for a new motor.
you know what they do out here, like at the club, at the club events. They call it the $500 challenge. Let's say I'm like, I feel as though I look at. Let's say I go to Tech and I'm like, hey man, look, dude, check that dude's motor. Like, check his motor, right?
Mhm.
And then Tech comes to me and they go, uh, hey, listen, we got some guys. They want us to check your motor, man. You gotta pull your motor. And so I'll be like, well, who wants me to pull my motor? Who is it?
Mhm.
Right? And I go to that guy. I'm like, hey, listen, let's do the $500 challenge. I'll pull my motor, but hey, listen, dude, I want $500 if they find my motor's clearing. If it's because you're basically fucking up my race.
Mhm.
So I need you to compensate me. If they check my motor and it's cleared, I want money.
Mhm.
Right? That used to keep a lot of motherfuckers from like trying to get you tech because you're like, hey, dude, if they clear my motor, I want money.
Understood.
Yeah.
No, I agree.
So that's kind of the thing they used to do out here. They'd be like, hey man, well look, if you're gonna tech me and my motor comes back clear, you're gonna pay me, bro,
Mhm.
because you're not gonna screw up my day. I spent all this money, came out here, got my cart prepared, got my motor prepared. And then
Mhm.
you're gonna have them pull it and tear it apart after I just paid for a rebuild.
Yeah.
And I know it's good, so you're gonna pay me for it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that kept that honestly, dude. That whole thing out here, doing that out here in SoCal, that keeps a lot of people from just frivolously getting teched.
Yeah. It's. I
Dude,
think it's. I think it's just a very unfair process. When they do that.
well, I think it's a necessary process, just to ensure that the motors are legal.
Yeah, that's fine. I'm talking about the fact of them taking the motors and you don't get it back.
That's screwed up. That's what I'm saying. That's where it's like, okay, if somebody's gonna tech me over this, dude, and they find my motor's good, but they took my motor, you're gonna pay me.
Yeah, but they don't ever pay. It seems like they don't ever pay like what it's worth though.
No, I'm saying it's like a team to team thing, because usually what happens is there's a team they'll go to the organizers, right, and they'll say, hey, his motor's hot, right, right. Though that's usually how this happens. Or if your motor is literally running like a clear second over the rest of the field, tech's gonna pull your shit. They're gonna pull it automatically. Like if you're just above and beyond the field, they're gonna pull your stuff. Otherwise, usually what happens is there's some other team that goes and says, "Hey, dude, he's running a hot motor."
Yeah. I mean, to answer a formula's question, if the motor's clean, then why they take it? Well, they don't know if the motor's clean.
They don't know until they don't know until they take
But
it.
see, all right. So here's the process, from what I know. Right? A couple people, they all come together, and they say, "Hey, we want to get it tech." Then they send it off to Italy. So if it's a Miami motor, they send it to Italy to get tech by Miami. But you don't get that shit back.
Well, you know what? Or either that, if it's like SCUSA, right? Wait, can you hear me? Okay.
No, you kind of low.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. There it goes. So like with SCUSA, for example, um, what they do is they have these what they call it, the die tools. Okay, so what it is like they're like these little blocks and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And what it is that you fit them in certain parts of the motor,
Mm-hmm.
and then what you do is you take a gap measurement tool.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and if you slide a gap measurement tool, like, so for example, you take this one little part, and let's just take you take a connecting rod, right? And there's a certain part of the connecting rod where you slide you slide it over the connecting rod. Then you take a gap tool. Okay, you shouldn't go you should not be able to fit anything more over less than like 2000s or something like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what they'll do is they text certain things, right? So the pop on the pistons should only be so much. That'll, if it's higher than a certain amount, that means that the head was domed under,
Mm-hmm.
right? Somebody domed it a couple thousandths or some shit. There's all these little things. So they have these tools with 206s, with the LO 206. They have the same thing. They have a tech tool, or like a tool set. So there's like these little things, and all you gotta do is take these things, slide it on certain parts of the motor,
Mm-hmm.
and that'll tell them if the motor's been fucked with or not. That's how they do it. It's very simple, but it's the process, because what they have to do is tear your motor down,
Mm-hmm.
right? So if they tear it down, then you're like, okay, I got to put this shit back together, and I got to get it running how I was running before. So I'm saying, like, to the point where you're gonna have my motor pulled and torn down. If they don't find anything wrong, dude, you better fucking pay me for this shit.
No,
You
they
know,
should.
that's how they do it out here. That's how they've done it out here, man.
But I will say this though. I will say this. I don't know the full ins and outs of how they do that, but that's just from what I know. That part is from what I know, and when
Yeah.
it comes to them taking a motor away.
Well, the other thing, here's try this. Let's do this one. Look, you got guys that can fuck around and literally cast like their own heads.
Skills.
That's what I'm saying. Like you could take an Iami head, right,
Mm-hmm.
and then make a cast out of that head,
Mm-hmm.
and then manufacture your own. That's why they'll send the motors to Italy, right, to verify them, right? Because you got dudes like they'll cast their own shit.
Mm-hmm.
They got dudes that cast their own pistons. Like, dude, I've heard of so much crazy shit, right, that dudes would do with cart motors to gain an advantage. It's like some of the craziest stuff,
Mhm.
but it's a stepping stone into the higher dollar motorsports, right? Leclerc, Lando, right? All those guys came from karting.
Yeah, but they didn't go to shifters though. That's the thing.
No. They were just doing like the tag
The
125.
tags, yeah.
But see, I'm saying, dude, like just think about like what you could do with those little motors that are pumping out like 30 horsepower, 2 strokes, right? So, yeah, man, it's that karting stuff. It's a silly game, man.
No,
The whole
it's
tech
a
game.
it's a silly game. Also, depending too on where you are, though. Like within the country.
Yeah,
Sometimes if you're willing to play ball, if you know what I mean.
yeah.
It can kind of be like that. Shoot, yo, we forgot to go over. You wanted to talk about the rally?
We can do it real quick if you want, dude.
I got the video up.
Okay, yeah.
Let's see that one. Hold on.
Wait, Derry said maybe you could bring the process to light and do an entire podcast on it.
Well, as far as like the
I think maybe like the motor teching and teardown or something.
Yeah, I would have to get somebody on here. I would feel like that would be more knowledgeable for that.
No,
one.
there's let me find the video. There's literally like a 206 Briggs 206, like they're like kind of like the training videos that came out when they very first put the motors out, right? And so there's a guy doing a video showing you the tech slides and everything, how to ensure that the motor is in spec and all that, and he's using the Briggs die tools to show you. So
well, yeah. So, see, the thing about the Briggs, though, I kind of know that when I was speaking specifically like the 100 cc's, like the KAs, right?
Yeah, it's the same thing. They have die tools for those, right? For every motor, there's a die tool kit so that you can measure tolerances what they're supposed to be.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Well, we got this one. Hold on. We got this one. This is the
yeah, this is from this past weekend, man. Tarmac stages, man. This is my favorite. This is my favorite, dude. Fair use, by the way. Fair use.
Yeah, fair use. Yo, these dudes are driving crazy, man.
Dude, I'm telling you, man. Tarmac setups on this rally car.
This thing, they is going, man.
Yo,
and you have to commit. That's the only way you're going to be fast.
That's why I'm like, dude, WRC right now is like the stupidest racing series going right now. These cars are nuts.
Oh my God. I would not be standing on the side, though. I'll tell you that much.
Hell no, man. The people are spectating are
brave. The poor cows might get hit.
I mean, dude, like he didn't even brake. There's no brakes.
Maybe you use the engine brake, I guess, right?
I don't know. Some of these guys are not braking when they're doing this. They're just literally just pitching the car. And see, the thing about the Ypres rally, the whole rally is run on streets like this. You see how narrow it is?
Yeah.
That's what makes this rally so unique. It's a tarmac stage, but it's literally a narrow-ass road. The whole rally is narrow roads. So I think you're going to see. I think Cali Rovanpera, he went off, dude. He flipped the car. I think it was either. Well, I know he went off, but I think in this video it might be a Ford that goes off. You'll see him like just ditch it.
So which Ford is that?
That's a Puma.
You said what?
A Puma, Ford Puma.
Oh, I never heard of that.
Yeah, it's like the Ford Puma is basically the equivalent of the
Escort.
Well, there's the Focus, and then what's the other one they have? Fiesta,
yeah.
Yeah.
Because I remember Ford running the.
Wait, did you see that?
Go ahead.
Run that back.
All right, I got you. Right here.
That right there. You see how he took the S right there? Boom. Wow.
I bet that felt good when he did that.
Man.
Pause. He was damn.
Yeah, these are the WRC2 cars. Dude, these used to be the WRC1 cars. That's what's crazy,
Okay.
right? So WRC1 basically went back to Group B, right? And see, these used to be like the top flight rally cars right here. These are now WRC2.
Okay. So what's the difference between WRC2 and
You see that? Um,
I know
so
these
these,
look a lot slower.
well, yeah, well, no, they're running. These are more of like your basic rally cars, dude. Like the WRC ones are running like all that hybrid shit, right? These are running turbocharged 1.6s,
Mhm.
2.0s, right? Turbocharged 2 liters. Sequential gearbox. I'm not sure if they're 4-wheel drive or 2-wheel drive though. I'm not
Mhm.
100% certain.
Mhm.
But when you go to the WRC1, that's when they have like just full hybridization, electric motors, batteries, all that shit.
Okay.
So these are more traditional cars right here.
Yeah. Yeah, man. I'm relying on you for the rally knowledge,
Yeah,
man.
yeah.
I don't.
That's kind of like a WRC3 or they call it a junior rally.
Okay. What happened with you?
Well, it looks like the roads might have been wet. His whatchamacallit's gone.
Woo, woo, woo.
Yeah, and we're off.
He's out. Oh, there goes the sign.
There you go.
They're not fixing that
Yeah, they will. They'll fix it.
on the road.
Look. They're like, hey, we gotta hurry up. Get this car back into the pits.
So
It's
they have to
sponsored by
put.
Kentucky Fried Chicken, by the way.
So, oh shoot,
Ooh,
that's nasty.
is that an M30 right there
Yeah, M3.
or M3?
Hey, so
Oh,
there's only one person running on this course, right?
well, yeah. They run. They time them, right? So they have like blocks of time between each one, right? And then they just time their stages.
Mhm.
Yeah. So that was the Eve rally that was around this weekend. There's way more clips. I just wanted to like show like some smaller clips, not the ones on the actual WRC channel because I don't want to get you busted.
Gotcha. I got you, man. Man, well, I think we had a good time. We're coming up on
Yeah,
two
man.
two
Good chop up,
hours
man. 2 hours,
right
dude.
here. 2 hours.
Hmm.
So yeah, man. I mean, that was pretty good, man. Had a lot of good information going on today. I learned a lot, man, and I appreciate you coming on here, man.
Yeah, for sure, dude. And I mean, as far as I think the sim racing culture thing, man. I think we just have to have a hand in kind of crafting that culture
Yeah.
because I think it's so new, man. Like who's to say where it could go, how the presentation could look, right? I think it's so new and so open.
Mhm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I
Um,
think I
but
think the
it's
sky's the
it's
limit.
yeah, it's just been interesting. Dabbling in it in the time that I have.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? So
Yeah, I think the sky's the limit when it comes to the sim racing stuff. Um, I think I like we spoke of it before. I think when they start putting this stuff in school and
hmm
realizing that, man, wouldn't that be cool? Like if they had that in athletics, a sim
yeah,
racing
no,
team,
like dead ass, dude.
that'd be cool as hell.
That would be, and
I
see,
just
that's
ran.
what I mean. It's kind of like, where can this go, right? That's like I hadn't even thought of that,
That'd be cool.
right? Yeah, like you're training up,
Yeah.
you're learning like engineering, you're
Hmm.
learning all of these things just through sim, but in school, right? Like there should be
Hmm.
a whole program, there should be funding for it,
Yeah.
right? No, that's a damn good idea.
Yeah. Sorry, man. It's late
Yeah,
over
man, you
here
can
where
fucking
I'm at.
crash out, man.
Yo, hey, I want to get to what Darius said. I didn't know. So Nikita Mazepin has been doing some rallies in
Mhm.
buggies since being sanctioned from Formula One. I have not kept up with dude. I did not know that.
Yeah, no, he got caught up in all that Russia sanction bull
Yeah.
crap and the Haas and
Yeah.
he's an unfortunate bystander in all this crap.
Nah, he is. He caught a stray.
Yeah,
He caught a stray in that drive by.
yeah, he did. He's a kind of bystander in all this crap.
Yeah, man. But that's another topic, the Formula One culture, the fan culture of Formula One.
Oh, dude, that's you know what? Maybe that's the next one.
Jesus Christ. I
Yeah.
don't even like you can go on for and the
Well, you saw what happened last year when it came down to Verstappen and Hamilton, man. I mean, the races came out, dog.
Oh
They
my
came
God.
out.
like and it's like it's like logically, how can you argue certain things? Like, let's just get this out the way. There was no reason for Hamilton to even pit last year because he didn't think the Mercedes, the strategy, they didn't even think that he needed to pit
He
because
didn't do based on how they called the race when they did that last lap thing. He didn't have to.
he didn't have to pit.
He didn't have to.
He then had to pit because I mean they didn't know he was that Ocon or whatever was going
No,
to
it
wreck.
was Nick
Latifi. They didn't know
That-
Latifi was going to wreck. If Latifi wouldn't have wrecked, he wouldn't have needed to pit.
Dude, you
He'd
know
have been
what?
okay.
I'm not even gonna look. I know we got to cut this live stream short, but see, you're gonna make me put my tinfoil hat on. Latifi he parked that car,
Oh,
he caused the caution. Okay,
oh,
don't cut
yeah.
this live stream, bro. Like,
Right,
don't
yeah, I
get me
know,
started
it's
on
crazy. Yo, hey, before we leave, man, I want to let everybody know this book right here is a really good book.
Mark Webber.
Mark Webber, Aussie Grit, My Formula One Journey. I'm gonna tell you right now, this is a really good book. I'm dead serious. Like, I've been reading it. Like, I was reading it off and on, but I started to like really like hunker down and like get it done. It's a really good book.
Okay.
When you like look at his story and how he, came from karting and got to where he wanted to get to and like followed the plan. Like
Yep.
it's a really good book. It's really inspiring, and I think that's a really good book to read. I think that's a new thing. I want to start like recommending
too?
books.
Yeah. There's a lot of dope motorsport books, man, that are out there. Like photography books.
Mm-hmm.
Books by like dudes like Mark Webber. Like writing on their experiences driving and the mindset it takes. And all, like these are like good. A lot of the stuff is kind of maybe sort of like self help in a lot of ways, or
Mhm.
more like inspirational. How guys got to where they got to.
Mhm.
Mark Webber's one of those dudes who just basically, dude, he through all the ranks, man. Mark Webber's driven all types of stuff.
Hell yeah.
Prototypes, Formula One,
Flip the
just
CLK.
flip the CLK at whatchamacallit, Le Mans.
Le Mans, yeah.
Shit.
He was hurt for a while on them, bro.
Well, dude, he the hurt. I mean, dude,
mentally.
Well, dude, like just you seen the way that car goes up, bro, and just flipped and went off into the trees, and
yeah, that was crazy,
bro. It's just like, yo, this dude was just going down the road, and then all of a sudden, whoop.
Right. All right, man. Listen, we'll keep going on for days, bro.
Let's go ahead and cut it short, man.
All right, cool, man. But hey, man, I appreciate you. Had a good time, man. I appreciate all you guys joining us today. Make sure you like this, man. Make sure you share this.
Share this.
YouTube.
Subscribe if you haven't.
Yeah. Complex Design. Ulysses. Shout your YouTube out. It should be Complex. Design,
I mean, dude. You know what, man? Look, y'all need to just go ahead. Sub to Keita Auto if you guys haven't shared this stuff. My channel, I ain't got nothing on it, man. You already know me, man. I just be talking about nothing. You know what I mean? But I'm saying, like, in terms of like sim racing, I gotta start doing the uploads to the Pacific Rides channel. That's where I need to be putting those uploads. But in the meantime, man, I'm doing the sim racing thing with Jamal, trying to get some collab stuff going. If you want to check out my channel, Complex Design, literally how it's spelled right there, CMPLXDSGN. You can sub there. And yeah, we'll catch you guys on the next one.
All right, man. Until then, y'all have a good one. All right.
Peace.